to all of you. My name is ΤΟΓΚΑΡΙΔΟΥ and I come from Greece. And right now I'm researching in the Sustainability Department of Global Digital Communication Network Global, that it is about how to use digital technology and social media in promoting innovative ideas. Actually, my field and my research expertise is on a cold transition and mainly on just in just transition in cold regions. And right now we have a networking of collaboration with the experts from other countries coming from Western Balkans. And I'm pleased to present you Sofia and Mihaela. Both are from Stara Zagora and the region in Bulgaria that maybe their department and their agency is at the core. It's one of the most let's say it's the greatest, it's the biggest core region. Sofia, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay,
you're right.
Okay, the biggest core region in Bulgaria, and they're working on issues of cold transitions. And other networking consists of representatives from the North Macedonia. Dejan is here. Okay, and here he is. And they come. Dejan also works in academia. It's an academia that it's at the core of energy transition in North Macedonia. And from Romania is Aleksandra, who is not joining us today. And also he is an expertise in co-regions in Romania. Our initiative, we have named it Just Transition in Co-Regions, and let me explain about a little bit about this initiative by beginning and sharing some knowledge and some information with you about Just Transition in Co-Regions. We actually, one of the targets the European has got till by 2050 is climate neutrality. This means that we have to reduce the gas emissions and in order to limit the degree of global warming by 1.5 degrees Celsius. Coal is considered to be one of the most polluted fossil fuels in the European Union and in the world generally speaking. So the governments and the European Union guidelines are that we have to develop strategic policies in order to go phasing out. A big challenge in this phasing out is the stakeholders' involvement. What actually means this, that we have to get, social society has to be get involved in those transitions, especially those who are affected directly and indirectly by this phasing out. Please keep in mind that due to this transition, a lot of workers will lose their jobs, and we have to switch some economic models, and this raises the objections from the citizens. So one big challenge in this transition is what is called the stakeholders engagement and involvement. So because the core element in Just Transition is to be fair and inclusive. What this means that no one should left behind. So we have to get involved all the possible groups that are affected. We want their opinion, we want their suggestions on how to develop a strategy and how to move forward to a green transition. And this comes the idea, and it was the motivation for the majority of us to join the theory u.lab, because we actually wanted a new approach in how to approach the most vulnerable social groups, those who are excluded and those who are they don't have the chance to participate in this whole process. Mainly, we're talking about young people, women, elderly, and vulnerable and handicapped citizens that live in cold regions. And actually, what we have done in our initiative until now, we have met several times, and we have exchanged some ideas, all the participants. And the main, let's say, what we have done until now is that we are making mapping stakeholders, because the idea is that we want to register it. We want to see mapping. So we're just making mapping stakeholders per country and per region. So we want to concentrate on one vulnerable group. For example, if we all agree that young are the most one of the vulnerable groups, then our intention is to use theory lab in this vulnerable group to see how to approach them and to see the conclusions that we can reach. And we want to make some conclusions about how to reach them, how we can persuade them to participate in the whole process of co-transition, and we hope to succeed. Because I'm very honored and very thankful that the other members of our initiative is in the panel. So if they want, they can. The floor is yours to Sofia, Mihaela, and Dejan, if you want to add something.
I'm very, very honored that we were invited with Mihaela to participate in this initiative, and I'm sure that there will be a added value of it, and our efforts to communicate the topic will be facilitated through this initiative. For our region, we're sure that probably the most important thing currently is to communicate the topic, to facilitate the topic in a pretty natural way, and to share reliable information, because the spread of fake news on the topic regarding European policies, Green Deal, and just transition are quite often to see in our region, and that's why our mission is to spread the word about the real situation, the status quo, and the things that we are going to benefit from the energy shift that is envisaged to happen in our region, because currently it is demonized, and many people feel as a threat the changes that are going to be, because they're expecting to lose their jobs, and this is pretty natural reaction. So our mission is to explain that there is a way forward. There are many opportunities that could be taken into account. So more or less, this is our mission, and I'm very thankful to Carolina, that to Konstantina, that she invited us to fight for these values. Thank you.
I can say that in the name of the research center, we're also looking forward to what this project will bring in the future. The fact that we are gonna tackle the problem more holistically, both technically and the social, include the social aspects and the approach itself. I personally believe that it's going to yield positive outcomes and positive results. We already had a meeting with Konstantina and the rest of the team, where we discussed in more detail about certain aspects. I think that we are looking forward to. I think that ahead of us lies a good project, and that good outcomes will come out of it. So we are looking forward to giving our contribution to the process.
And if I can add something, Carolina, I would like to add that stakeholder engagement in cohort transition is a huge challenge and a huge problem. There are two aspects of the same coin. Really, at this time, we are facing a challenge, and but it's also a threat. Taking into consideration, as Sofia very well said, that misinformation and disinformation about energy and European policies are at a huge level. This raises many obstacles in how to get the stakeholders involved, and mainly how to minimize their objections to these transitions. I would like, Carolina, really to thank you for giving us this opportunity of creating, let's say, of a networking of different countries that really help us by sharing knowledge and practices, how we can support each other, and how we can face the same challenges. Almost all of us face the same challenge, and the same challenge need the same, more or less same approaches, need new ideas. And really, we are very glad that we participate in this prototype, and we hope with our knowledge to contribute something, not only to our countries, but finally we'll be able to contribute something in to the European Commission also, in order to achieve what it is really very, very crucial, the energy transition, and actually the green transition. Thank you very much.
I'm wondering myself, because you mentioned the youth quite a number of times, Konstantina, and your team members as well. I'm wondering, what are the ideas that you're so far entertaining of engaging youth in creating a just transition from coal to green energy?
This is under discussion, actually, and we wanted to see how theory u.lab, the theory that we are now are involved in, can help us and can contribute to the approaching of the vulnerable group. Actually, the interviews and the way that the interviews should be conducted is something new, in my opinion, because as you said, I think it was in a session sometime that interviews should be open. This means that the approach is that we don't want to teach them something. We don't want them to guide them, because the problem is that most of the times the approach is top down. They go at the government, they go the authorities and just say, you have to do that, you have to do that, that is that. And the public and consultations that they are now in progress, it's almost not so open, because they are guided. So we actually, what we really want to is to be open and to listen to them. So it's something that we have actually concluded on that we want to listen. And we want their ideas, we want their concerns, their worries, we want their problems, and how we can contribute to solving and some of their problems, and how we can reach them. And this is, let's say, as I said before, this is a big challenge. And what actually helped me with this initiative is how to approach them. That's something that you always almost say: be open. We don't have to be close our mind, close our approaches, and close the guidelines. Open. So this is what we will almost try to implement in this approach, to be open.